Hi, welcome to the Impactful Review. This is your one-stop shop every single week for your Impact Wrestling episode review. This episode is coming to us from Thursday, August 12th, 2021. Let's jump right in. On BTI, we have Sam Adonis going over Joisa. I think it's still funny on commentary how they go back and forth every time Joisa is on BTI or even the main show, and there's always like a back and forth about how to pronounce his name. Just a sidebar there, but jumping into the main show, we open up with a video package, last night's AEW Dynamite and the War of Words between champion Kenny Omega and challenger Christian Cage. Cage was announced as the challenger for the AEW World Championship at All Out on September 5th. But he also says in his promo that after speaking to Tony Khan and Scott D'Amore, he will also challenge for the Impact World Championship, and that will be on the inaugural episode of AEW Rampage that is starting this Friday, August 13th at 10 p.m. on TNT. So we get to our opening match. It is Tenille Dashwood being accompanied by Caleb with a K taking on Taylor Wilde. Caleb with a K still sporting that sweet neck brace that he got courtesy of his match with Taylor Wilde just a few weeks ago. Taylor Wilde in control for most of this matchup, right until Caleb starts to interfere a little more. From there is definitely more back and forth, no real telling on where the match was going to go. Getting to the finish, Caleb interfering, Taylor Wilde gets him by the neck brace, so he goes into his fanny pack to get the hairspray, goes to spray her, the referee gets caught in the crossfire. Then we see a wild Madison Rayne appear, throws Taylor Wilde into the ring post, spotlight from Tenille gets her the win. They have a really awkward stare down for a few seconds, trying to fool us into thinking that they're not going to best friends hug it out, and then they best friends hug it out. So the match didn't really make a huge impact. It was a little sloppy at times, and to be honest with you, this went a few minutes too long for my taste. I appreciate the fact that they are trying to give the female talent some more time on the show. But with the opening video package and this match, we're already a sixth of the way through the show here. And I think the rushing, I think the pacing of this episode really suffers because of it. But it's not all bad. I still think that it was an okay knockouts match. I do think that the biggest thing here is that we do get Madison Rayne back now. In what capacity? What she will be doing with Impact is still up in the air. But if she's back and she's a tag team with Tenille, you know me, I'm all for it. I've been a big proponent of not bringing back the women's tag titles because of lack of depth. But if we're starting to build tag teams and we're going to invest, I love it. Moving on to some promos from some of the participants in tonight's main event battle royale. It will determine the next challenger to the Impact World Championship. That match will be at Emergence on August 20th, courtesy of the Impact Plus. Second match of the evening now, we get Davari versus X-Division champion Josh Alexander in a non-championship match. Pretty back and forth. I was kind of shocked there for a good portion of this match of how much offense Davari was actually getting in. I know that he is essentially at this point in his career glorified enhancement talent. So he's in this Bobby Fish-esque role as Fish as Fish was on NXT leading up to his release. Pretty back and forth though. Like I said, Josh Alexander hits a big boot. We get Jake something coming from the back. They will be squaring off at Emergence for the X Division Championship. Cut to commercial. We come back and Davari is in complete control of this match. No real replay or anything from commentary as to how we got there. But we get back in the ring. Momentum swings back in favor of Josh Alexander. Alexander gets an ankle locked in for a split second, but Davari wiggles out. Josh Alexander with the 3 Germans follows up with a big old C4, gets the win. We get a brief stare down with Jake something and Josh Alexander. The biggest impact in this match for me was Davari still looks freaking incredible, man. Just the work he's done with his body to keep up and still be wrestling in 2021 is outstanding. The match itself was no slouch either. It was back and forth. You knew who was going to win, but it did kind of pull you in a little bit. Not a fan of the commercials mid-match. NXT's got it right. Dynamite's got it right. Even Raw and SmackDown occasionally get it right, but Impact is still one of those that we're going to cut the commercial and then come back. We don't have that picture-in-picture aspect yet. But the match between Jake something and Josh Alexander at Emergence is going to be pretty solid. A hype video for Kenny Omega, Christian Cage. We get various talent giving their predictions on who will walk out of Rampage as the Impact World Champion. Varying opinions. I'm sure that will be up on their YouTube page here shortly. We get a promo for New Japan's event Resurgence coming in just a few days here in the States. A plethora of Impact talent is expected to be on the card. We do get a Good Brothers promo following right after that, saying that Impact Wrestling belongs to the Good Brothers because they hold the tag titles. We then get this power struggle between them and Violent by Design. Eric Young saying that the tag titles run the company. Things get heated back and forth to the point where we get a match made for next week, and that is Doc Gallows versus Joe Doring. We said this before. No more singles matches for Joe Doring, please. He was extremely exposed in his match against Kojima. So I guess they did not take the hint. Next to the ring comes Kiera Hogan, one half of the former Fire and Flava. She's out to comment on the new pairing of Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans. If you missed it from last week, Savannah Evans essentially takes out Kiera Hogan while Tasha Steelz just watches. Kiera, obviously feeling betrayed by Tasha, lays down the gauntlet for both of them, telling them to come to the ring. We instead get Su Yung. It's so good to see Su Yung back in a full capacity. And in tow now is the undead Kimber Lee. I gotta be honest, and this is not something that I particularly focus on, but I am not digging this look for Kimber Lee. Really looking like Congo Kong here, with the wardrobe choices. Either way, Kimber beats down Kiera Hogan, drags her away, she's screaming. And segment. Don Callis backstage with Kenny Omega, giving yet another promo how they feel that they have been wronged. This time they feel wronged because they have to defend the Impact World Championship in AEW. Next matchup we get is the Bullet Club, that is Switchblade Jay White, and the newest member, that would be Chris Bay, Finesse Club for Life. That shirt is dope. Taking on Finn Juice, that would be David Finlay and Juice Robinson. Jay White and David Finlay are going to square off at Resurgence for the Never Openweight Championship. That is going to be a fantastic match to watch. All four men get a chance to shine in this one. Good stories being told here, with Finjuice working better as a tag team, whereas Chris Bay and Jay White have only been working together for a few short weeks now. Also, Jay White being more physical and aggressive in the ring as opposed to Chris Bay, and that I attribute to the history that Jay White has had with Finjuice as of late. Hot tags as we crescendo here. Jay White and David Finlay, the legal people. Finlay getting the better of the exchange. Cactus Clothesline will take Finlay and White out of the ring. Juice counters the Ultimate Finesse with a Doomsday device, and just before we get the pin for the 1-2-3, Jay White chair shot, match is thrown out. Post-match, Jay White takes Finlay out with a chair shot, then hits a Blade Runner on the chair. This was my match of the night. This is my moment of the night. Gosh, the build for this Never Openweight Championship match coming up this weekend has been so good. Guys, Resurgence is one you're definitely going to have to check out this Saturday. It has got a ton of stuff on it. We will probably be doing a review show here in the coming days. But the match itself, like I said, everybody gets a chance to shine. Storytelling, fantastic. And I absolutely enjoy the addition of Chris Bay to the Bullet Club. And it's just great. Gia Miller backstage with Tasha Steelz saying that she was the strength of the team. Kiera was just riding her coattails. Falaba interrupts, saying that he has a problem and needs backup, and the problem is Rosemary and Havoc. Tasha says his problem is her problem because they have the Knockouts tag team titles, and I'm sure that will be coming up either at Emergence or a pay-per-view later down the line. Commercial coming back to Gia Miller. Now with Melina hyping up NWA Empower, saying it's so awesome that so many promotions are collaborating for this. Deonna Purrazzo cuts in. Obviously, that's going to be her opponent at the show. Says, she's not taking opportunities to thank people and relish with other promotions and how we're doing this. She's taking opportunities to improve. And the video package is showing her with the Invicta FC Atomweight World Champion Alicia Zappatella. Pretty decent promo package. Deonna essentially saying that people are starting to scout her better. She has to keep changing her game, which I love. Melina says that Deonna will see what she's in store for at Empower when she gets in the ring next week in the Impact Zone. So we will get the debut of Melina next week. Alex Marvez, AEW's Alex Marvez, with Christian Cage, saying that Omega is the belt collector, but he is here to take all of the titles. I don't know how the AAA championship comes into play here, but I'm sure he's just speaking to the two that he now has an opportunity to take. Next matchup, we get Matt Cardona versus John Skyler. Skyler already in the ring. This was a glorified squash match. Skyler did get some offense in, but for the most part, this was all Cardona. Up until the finish. Rohit Raju, Mahabali Shera coming to ringside. Rohit distracts Cardona. He turns into the flying knee of John Skyler. Skyler rolls him up and gets a surprise win. So the impact is that John Skyler gets a win. The match is, like I said, glorified squash. So it looks like we will potentially get either Cardona versus Rohit Raju at Emergence, or Cardona versus the last Ring King heavyweight champion Mahabali Shera. And no, that title will not be on the line. Duh. So on to our main event of the evening. It is the 20-man Battle Royal. This will determine the next challenger for the Impact World Champion. So the participants, and I was going to list them all, I promise. Eddie Edwards, commercial break. We come back. We get Moose and Sami Callihan and 17 other dudes in the ring. So no, with 10 minutes left in the show, I was not doing that. W. Morrissey with 3 early eliminations until they do the Royal Rumble trope where everyone gangs up on the biggest guy in the match. He hulks out of the corner. Everyone, literally everyone at that point, gangs up to eliminate Morrissey. He's upset, slamming the ring apron, all that good stuff. Steve Macklin makes an appearance in this match, distracts Petey Williams, gets him eliminated. Madman Fulton, with a few eliminations, catches the eye of Fallah Bahh, which leads to his elimination. Brian Myers eliminates Trey Miguel pretty violently. Moose eliminates Eddie Edwards. He's perched up on the top. Moose just pushes him over. So we get our final 5. That is Ace Austin, The Draw, Sami Callihan, the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers, Moose, and Chris Sabin. Sami and Ace Austin are on the apron. Ace gets knocked off the apron, but Fulton catches him on his shoulders. Sami clotheslines him off of his shoulders, and it looked like a nasty fall. Moose then kicks Sami off the apron, so like that, we're down to 3. Sabin has Moose in a sleeper. Brian Myers comes from behind, lifts him up, eliminates both of them. So Brian Myers is the number 1 contender for the Impact World Championship. So we're talking about Impact. This is it. Brian Myers is, other than his luck recently with GCW World Champion Matt Cardona, he's winning everything. So it'll be very interesting to see how they book either Myers versus Omega or Myers versus Cage. So we will see about that. The match itself, it was typical battle royal, very, just a huddled mass of men to start, and then just one by one. So it was a slow burn, but it didn't really hit that next gear it needed. So for this episode of Impact, I am going to give it a C+ rating. Some of the pros that I had for this show, some of the things that made the biggest impact. The return of Madison Rayne to boost the Knockouts Tag Team division. I thought that was a good move there. Bullet Club versus Finjuice, I already gushed about it enough. And then the focus on the inaugural episode of AEW Rampage and the Impact World Championship match. It's fantastic. So 10 p.m. tomorrow night, all of you watching this review, you need to go to TNT. You need to watch Rampage. There's 3 title matches. It's going to be a fantastic show. Oh wait, there might be 4. Some of my not as impactful moments. The segment with Kiera Hogan, Su Yung, and Kimber Lee. I feel like this was more of a way to write Kiera Hogan out of Impact Wrestling. She did reveal a few weeks ago that she was contractually finished with Impact Wrestling, so I feel like there might have been a better way to do this, but the whole segment just didn't sit well with me. And in the opening match, Tennille Dashwood and Taylor Wilde, just never, whenever they got going a little bit, there would be something that happened, like a botch or a slip up or just timing wasn't there. So I don't think everything was there for that one. But and the pacing of this show, it was very very start and stop. The matches were fine, but when you start your show off, where your first 20 to 25 minutes, including commercials, is a video package and a women's match that didn't click, we're already trying to climb back uphill for it. But it's a solid C+, almost trending into the B- category. So nothing to frown about here. This is a good way to kill 2 hours on a Thursday night. You can catch Impact on Impact Plus now that they have discontinued their relationship with Twitch. You can watch it on YouTube via the subscription on there. Not through YouTube, but this is through the Impact Wrestling YouTube channel. You can go to their website for more of that. You can also catch it on Axis. It's on Axis. So that being said, my name is Ryan. This has been the Impactful Review. We will see you next time.